Hey there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. It is Sat Chat time. I hope you had a wonderful week. I am feeling much more robust and effervescent and full of vim and vigor this week compared to the last couple weeks, so hooray for that. And I hope you are having a wonderful day as well. So first of all, give you an update on, oh, by the way, this is Sat Chat. You're not gonna learn anything. This is just a end of the week chit chat, talk about the crafty and artsy stuff we've been up to, talk about random nonsense. If you're here for it, awesome, love to have you. If it's not your cup of tea, I totally understand, and there are thousands, I do mean thousands, of tutorials on my channel for you to enjoy if that's more your cup of tea. But if you want to hang out and enjoy some company of some like-minded fellow artists, please feel welcome and do. You can always chit chat in the comments down below. I love to see the conversations that bloom there, and that's where I will be after this video goes up on Saturday morning. It is Friday morning at 11:24, and I always film this on Friday the day before, usually sometimes Thursday, but usually Friday the day before, and that way you get the most fresh update on stuff, I guess. I don't know. First, I want to update you on my husband. He is doing so much better this week. He had anaplasmosis, which is a tick-borne disease. He came down with this like fever and chills on he came home from work Friday, a week ago Friday, and was just not feeling well, and it was the start of his vacation, and after a couple of days he wasn't getting any better. He was running fever and then just swinging back to chills, and they did a tick panel on him, and last Friday, after I filmed Sat Chat last Friday, we got a call from his doctor's office, and they put him on antibiotics for the anaplasmosis, and it's working great. It's like a miracle drug. So hey, if you have symptoms like that, don't hesitate to reach out to your doctor, because that does not get better on its own, and anaplasmosis hospitalizes 30% of the people that get it, or a third, so it's like 33%, 34% of the people that get it. And I think it's because it kind of comes on and you think it's a cold or a flu. It just kind of comes on with those types of symptoms and you just think you're going to ride it out, but it can lead to more serious stuff down the line. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there, especially, I guess that's not, those ticks aren't active everywhere, but if you live in New England, I think also on the kind of Oregon area, Washington, like Pacific Northwest, I think as well, they have those ticks. So it's just something to be aware of. I was worried about Lyme disease, but that came back negative, thank goodness, because that can have such long-term problems. But yeah, the ticks are bad, and he never knew he had been bitten, and he had never had a rash or anything like that. So I have another friend that had Lyme disease, and she didn't know it for years. So it's scary, and it's serious, and it can mimic so many other things, like so many mystery illnesses. So be vigilant, especially women. If you are having these symptoms, talk to your doctor. A lot of times they kind of I don't know, it seems like a lot of times women's illnesses get kind of pushed off to the side, like, oh, that's not, you know, we don't know what's wrong with you, you're fine, it's just in your head, or it's just, they'll give it some totally other diagnosis where there's no treatment for it. But if it's Lyme disease, then there's a treatment for it, and if you don't get it treated, then it can have so many problems down the road. And it seems like I've known a lot of people with Lyme disease over the last few years, so those ticks are getting a lot more fierce. Yeah, so just be careful. I'm in the woods all the time, so I'm really surprised that I haven't been bitten. But I use I use tea tree oil. A lot of people probably say that's hokum, but it seems to work pretty well for me. But if you might need DEET or something like that, just protect yourself. I don't think it's a reason to hide in your house all the time, but definitely protect yourself. But he's doing much better. I just want to let you guys know, because you guys are so sweet. It's so many comments of concern and good wishes and stuff. So I appreciate that. He appreciates that, and everything is going great. So this week, what went on this week? This week's been a blur. So I had my Michael's class on Tuesday. That went really well, and I think this class, I've had more people sharing artwork done from this class than, at least tagging me with it, than any other Michael's class. And I think that might be one of the reasons might be because I started the sketchbook floozy challenge, and I think people are getting in the habit of creating in their sketchbooks and sharing more often. So I think that is really great, because what's even better than buying new supplies is using the supplies we already have, because that really, I mean, it feels good to buy something new and have something new to try, and that's fun and exciting, but it feels extra good, and that the feeling good is more prolonged when you actually use the stuff that you buy. I just posted the new Sketchbook Floozy challenge yesterday on Instagram. I'll have to get it on the community tab here. But I was roasting garlic yesterday, and I found this one that was kind of like rotted and it kind of sprouted a little bit, and so I sketched it. Then I took a bunch of different reference photos from different angles, and I'm going to revisit it, I think, maybe with some pencil and do some drawing there, but that was with markers. I am reviewing, oh my gosh, this chunk of a marker set, you got to see it, it's huge. Oh my gosh, I can barely lift it. Look at this thing. I'll have a review coming out soon, but it's like 262 markers. It's actually 260 alcohol markers, then a white and a black pen. And it's, with a coupon, it's like $100. So, what was that, 38 cents a marker? Brush markers, brush chisel. So I've been, those took me so long to swatch because I had to make little, use the vinyl sticker paper that I told you about, that I did the stickers, like the stickers on my sketchbook. So I cut them down into little like swatch size things, and I made a swatch for every marker because so many of the colors are like in that muted neutral earth tone skin tone color. They're so close, and I can't tell, the chips are not discerning enough. And so not only did I swatch them all out, and I had to do my own swatch card. I know, the vapors, it's hard being me. I had to make my own swatch card. I've gotten so used to a hoo-hoo that provides the swatch cards. And then I made all the swatches here. I think it took me like 3 days to get these all swatched. So, but I think when you make a commitment like that into your art supplies, it makes you more likely to use them because you've gone through all that work. I find that swatches on the markers helps really well. I did that to a bunch of these. Any marker that didn't have a good color cap, like the swatch wasn't very good, I made a little sticker for the end of my markers. Like the Pro markers and the Prismacolors, they didn't have the plastic color cap, color chip, and their wrappers were really deceiving, so I made little stickers for the end. So that was probably 12 years ago. So yeah, and so I started doing that for some of my alcohol markers if the caps weren't that great. And then like when I bought the Sanjokis, they had stickers that came with them, and I think so did Artify came with stickers for them. I think that is a great idea. I think more companies should do that, like provide the little sticker swatches so you could put them right on your marker, because that way you don't have to, like, you know, I don't have to look at my swatch sheets, find the color I want, then go look in the markers and find the number of that marker. That's a pain. That takes a long time to swatch out your markers and put a sticker on them, but the amount of time it saves when you're sketching, because you can just grab and go and you don't have to put stuff back in a particular order. I love that. I'm a mess, so I need my art supplies to also be cooperative with my mess. They need to jive with the mess that I am. So that seems to work for me. Another interesting thing that I was working on this week is swatching the old Pretty Excellent watercolors versus the new Pretty Excellent watercolors, because this is probably my number one budget pick of watercolors is the 36 set of Pretty Excellent, aka Mi Liang watercolors. They're made by the Paul Rubens company, and their quality is excellent for the price. It's under 20 bucks generally. I bought a second set on Prime Day for 17 bucks, and I wanted to see if the colors and the quality was the same. And I would say there's one red that's a little bit different. But other than that, I found it to be very much the same and the same quality. So if you are waiting to, I will do a whole video, comparison video on those, but if you are wondering if they're still good, yes, they are. So, so I was glad about that, because I'm going to be doing a 30 Days to Better watercolor painting class, and I wanted just to be able to suggest a kind of an inexpensive batch of material. So if you've never painted before, you can jump in and not spend $1 million on your supplies. I know it's hyperbolic, but you know, you can get in and not spend hundreds of dollars on your supplies. You can get in fairly inexpensively and get going. And the thing I like about those watercolors is that they won't hinder your ability to learn. Some student grade products will really hinder your ability to learn because they're kind of chalky. They're not potent enough. If you try to mix them, they just go dull, and you don't have that issue with those. So I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do it at all, but there they are. There they are. They're great. They're still great. They're still good. And something else I was worried. Oh my gosh. So Sketchbook Floozy Challenge, right? Okay, so let me show you. Remember last week I told you I was going to the Audubon Society for some painting, and that was so fun. And before I left, I took these scrapbooking templates. Do you remember these from back in the day? Let me show you. Remember these? These, I think they're called Deluxe Designs, I think is the brand. You can find some on eBay, actually. But I took those 12 by 12 scrapbooking templates, and I kind of cordoned off a 2-page spread here. And I'm like, this way, there won't be like some precious, it's not going to be some precious layout. I'm not going to, like, I'm going to do one painting here and it's going to be perfect. No, I could do a bunch of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I could do 8 paintings and none of them have to be precious, but the sum of them would be kind of cool, just have them all together, even if none of them were really kind of that great on their own. And I love that. That was so fun because I didn't have to be very picky about like, oh, I gotta find the perfect place to paint. It's like, this is interesting, let's paint here. This is interesting, let's paint here. So I went to that with my friend Karen, and we had a great time, and we ended up with a bunch of little sketches when we were done. And I'm definitely gonna do that some more. I love that idea. You might even have some shape stencils that you could just use, things you can trace, use a compass for your circles, whatever. And then I found that I had 2 of these, so I'm giving one of these to my friend Karen, who went painting with me. But these are card-sized ones, so these are being made by Darkroom Door if you have a smaller sketchbook and you want to break it down smaller. Obviously, you can use a ruler, and you know, you don't have to be fancy, but sometimes it's just something kind of novel like that, especially if you already have it. Like maybe in your stash you have some shape stencils that your kids used or something, you can grab those out, or journaling stencils from the scrapbooking days if you used to scrapbook, and you can repurpose those into a tool for your art. And I've had these sitting in my office thinking, I'm going to do that someday, I'm going to do that one day. For like the last year, I've had those sitting in here, and I'm like, this is the day, seize the day, friends, do that thing you've been putting off, and get it done. Get it done. So this was my sketchbook floozy challenge. I posted a bunch of the reference photos, which my reference photos are, they're okay. I picked the best ones that I took. But when you're in the woods like that, it's very uniform. Like there's not huge contrast, there's not huge color differences, so you really have to kind of edit as you're there. And it's easier to edit when you're there than from a photo, I think, because everything just looks like shades of brown. But anyways, I posted the best ones there on my Instagram account, and also I posted them all on my blog. I can only post 5 photos in a community post on YouTube, so I only got a couple there. So, you know, check out my blog, check out my Instagram if you want all those photos. And then what was the previous one before that? Oh, yes, that was the first sketchbook floozy one. This here, I forgot to mention last week, is up now in Critique Club. It is, it's my series of things I find in my refrigerator, apparently, because I've got garlic. I got rotted garlic. This was a sprouted onion. But I don't know, there's just something kind of pretty about that. I love the textures. And so that's in Critique Club for your enjoyment if you want to go check that out. And Critique Club is $5 a month. There's 100 mixed media tutorials, monthly prompts. You can upload your work for feedback, that sort of thing. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. Check it out if you're interested. I don't do Patreon or anything like that. So Critique Club is a great way to get some more in-depth lessons on a month-to-month basis, if that's your cup of tea. But you do have access to everything previously that I've posted over the last 4.5 years. So that's there if you would like to check it out. And you can upload 2 original artworks to me in the monthly prompt and critique thread if you want some feedback on that. Or, I mean, any of the past tutorials you do, you can upload your artwork in those threads and share those with the group as well. So it's fun. It's fun because when you're going back and doing any of those older lessons, you get to see what other people have done from that lesson too. So I think it's kind of neat to see different perspectives on the same lesson, because like on YouTube, you don't see what anybody else is doing. If somebody else is doing something, you know, there's no place to post that there unless you happen to find them online on like social media and they posted it on their accounts. But it's very like scattershot. Like, you're unlikely to find that sort of thing unless you're in like an artist group or whatnot. So I don't know. You can check it out if you want, or don't. Whatever. You do you. Live your life. Spend your money however it's best for you to spend your money. No pressure. No pressure, people. I'm liking what my hair is doing today. I used some different products on it, and honestly I can't really tell you what they were because I don't really remember. I needed to clean the downstairs bathroom. So the kids use the downstairs bathroom, and it used to be our family bathroom because that was the only bathroom we had that had a shower in it before we built the addition. And last time I cleaned it was probably before they came home from college for the summer, so that was like 4 months ago. And nobody, I don't think anyone has cleaned it since. And I'm like, I looked in there the other day, I'm like, oh, this is bad, this is gross. There's like so much buildup of soap and products and oh. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna shower this disgusting shower today, and I am going to, this was yesterday, and I am going to clean it. So I had the Comet, I had the scrubby things, and yeah, I just cleaned it from top to bottom. It's easier to clean a shower when you're taking a shower, or like right after you take a shower, because you're just in there and everything's had a chance to like, all the grimes had a chance to loosen up with the steam and the water and stuff, and then you can like attack it with the scouring thing. So so I did that yesterday, but I used some, you know, that's the thing, 18-year-olds with disposable income buy really nice hair products. So I feel like my hair is like extra shiny and bouncy. I've got this like this nice gloss going from whatever was in somebody's product. That's the cleaning fee. I could use the bougie hair products. I should make a list, and when they ask me what I want for Christmas, I'm like, I want that conditioner and that shampoo. But it's so nice to get something like that done. And I just don't know why it doesn't occur to other people to like see like the soap scum build up and just be like, I'm gonna clean that because that's disgusting. It's like, I feel like my tolerance for ick is, it must be much lower than the other people that live here, because like I'll clean the toilets a couple times a week, and it didn't occur to my husband that I had been cleaning the bathroom from our addition. And he's like, wow, the sink and the toilets and the shower, they stay so clean up here. And I'm like, no, they don't. I'm cleaning them every couple of days. We're so unappreciated. Am I right, ladies? So unappreciated. But I got that done. That felt good to get that task done. You ever get that, like you find something really gross and grimy and you tackle, it's like, yeah, like you move the microwave and you see like everything that's been spilled underneath it, and there's probably some like ibuprofen caked in there, and there's like, you know, just stuff that people have dropped and just like ignored, you know. But then, and then you take, and if you're lucky, you take, I didn't take a before picture of the shower, I should have, but I love it when I take a before picture of something really gross and I clean it and I take the after picture. It's so satisfying. Usually I forget to take the before pictures, and then it's like, have I even done anything today? But I do feel pretty good about that. So, I mean, it's been a fairly just puttery week. Oh, so I was talking about the sketchbook floozy challenge, right? So I shared a picture of me like holding one of my stacks of sketchbooks. It's not even all of my active sketchbooks, just what I happen to have like within reach. When I posted about the sketchbook floozy challenge. And then a friend of mine, Amy, posts, Lindsay, put down those sketchbooks and finish my box, please. She had given me this box to paint. She'd asked me if I'd paint this box for her back in May. It was a new baby keepsake box, and I said, when do you need it by? And she said, oh, whenever. That is absolutely the worst thing to say to me if you're asking me to do something for you, because if you don't give me a deadline, then it will never get done, because there'll always be something more urgent that jumps in, or something I'm more interested in, or I'll just like kind of like, you know, like a butterfly, I flit from flower to flower to flower to whatever like catches my eye, or oh, sparkly thing, let me check out that. I am very impulsive, and if I don't have a deadline, then it just kind of like, I started the box and it was sitting within eyesight. It was like sitting on like a little shelf on the other side of this room. And yeah, I was clutter blind to it. So here's the box. I'll actually share it with you because I have it right here. It was this wooden box. She brought me the wooden box from a craft store. And I do have a video on this. I'm going to post it in a week or two probably. And so she wanted a Harry Potter themed baby keepsake box for her grandniece. And so I had an idea about what I wanted to do, but also I think I get a little bit in my head, because it's like, this is for somebody else. Am I going to be over the top, or am I going to be not enough? You know, you don't know what somebody else's idea of a project is in their mind. And like what I was thinking was like a white owl carrying the Hogwarts acceptance letter, maybe a like flying key or golden snitch, and some like collagey things to make it look like a vintage steamer trunk that a kid might bring to school there, because like, you know, and I want a kind of dark academia and all of that. And so I guess I kind of got a little bit in my head about it. And so I'm like, all right, she posted that last week and I'm like, I need to get on the stick. I need to do this. Just get it done. And then you can feel the relief of having this project done. It's kind of one of those projects. I hate to say it, but it's like, as soon as I said yes, I kind of regretted it. It's like, oh, do it, but do I? Because like, oh, that'll take no time. Those things are kind of fun, like projecty things. I'm always like, this is going to be like a snap. I'll have this done in like 3 hours, no problem. And meanwhile, things that I think are going to be a chore, like, for instance, cleaning up the coat closet in the living room. I've been like, oh, I need to do that. It's going to take me like forever. It'll probably take me a half an hour. But it's like stuff like that. I think it's going to take me forever if it's an unpleasant thing. Things I think are fun. I'm like, oh, I'll have that done in 3 hours. So it took me longer than I care to admit, but I started off and I stained the box and I distressed the edges and I decoupaged the insides with book pages. Really started off strong, and then I set it over on the shelf and forgot about it for about 3 months. And so when she commented, because she's probably seeing me like post all this stuff, all my World Watercolor Month posts, she's probably thinking, "Where's my box, lady?" So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna buckle down and get this done. So I just I painted on the owl and the little owl, the letter, and I got a chance to use my Harry Potter hot wax sealing set, the wax seal set. So that was kind of fun. I did some collaging around the edges. I didn't want to be too like over the top because, you know, my sense, this is like a resin, one of those Prima molds, resin thingy. These are Dollar Tree dimensional stickers. Aren't they cool? So is a little suitcase there and then a little Tim Holtz paper doll. But yeah, I like the way it came out. I took the hardware off to paint it, which isn't totally unlike me because usually I'll just kind of push it up to the edges. And putting that thing back on, I dropped those tiny little screws so many times, like 3 times, and on my floor, which is a carpet, and it's got paint spatters on it, and finding a tiny little screw on the floor. Luckily I had vacuumed the other day, so it wasn't like filthy, but still I have all these like little specks of like paint and there's glitter, and it's just, you know, really hard to see something tiny like that. But other than that, it went pretty much without incident. And I do need to wax before I clip this closed. I need to wax the inside of the box so it doesn't so like humidity can't make it stick where there is some polyacrylic, some like acrylic paint and varnish and stuff in there. So I'm just kind of keeping the latch, holding it open like that. But I did that, and that video will be coming up soon. I hope you enjoy it. I don't know. I find like when I post more crafty things, they don't do as well, like card making or just general crafts. So we'll see. I mean, it is painting too. I don't know. I don't know what people like. I really don't. I look at my analytics and I'm like, I don't know what people like anymore. But I've been hearing a lot of other YouTubers complaining about their views going down. One thing I noticed is that where traffic is coming from, it used to be YouTube recommendations, and then it was like up next in search, but now it's like search is my number one traffic bringer to my videos. The second one is YouTube recommendations, and then the third one is up next, which is like the stuff that's on the side. When you're watching a video, if you look to the side of your screen, there's those other videos that are that would play if you just didn't do anything else, I guess. So either YouTube's recommending my videos less, which is making search like be the highest amount of traffic coming in, or more people are searching and selecting my content. I'm not sure which, but my views are definitely down. But so are a lot of people, so I don't know. I don't know if there's an algorithm change or whatnot. I don't know. I look at it every once in a while. Summer's always slow here, but yeah, I just want to make sure if there's something I'm doing, I kind of catch it. Sat chats have continued to be popular, which is nice, but I always have a slower views in the summer. But this weekend, let's see. Yeah, this weekend I saw there's something fun happening in Prospect, which is right over near Bucksport on the coast. At Fort Knox, which is a historical site, they're going to have a paranormal fair, and I'm kind of thinking that will be fun to go to. And I was looking at the weather for, okay, so I'm filming this Friday, so this will be Saturday, and it looks like it's going to be good from like 11 to 3, and then we might get rain before or after that. And I think this paranormal fair is from like 1 to 4. I mean, how freaky. The weather's gonna be good during the paranormal fair. Woo, a little freaky there. And so I think I'm gonna go check that out. They have a Bigfoot specialist there. They have a cryptozoologist. He's probably the Bigfoot specialist now that I think about it, actually. And then they have like UFO people, and they have all sorts of other, you know, hippy-dippy stuff. And there's like 20 vendors, like, and so I'm thinking I can go and get some presents, some like birthday presents for Lila, and maybe some Christmas presents. I don't know. Check it out. Maybe something for my sister's birthday too, because she likes all that kind of stuff. And yeah, go check it out. And my husband is a big Bigfoot fan. And we were talking about this last night. I'm like, you want to go to this? Looks like it might be kind of fun. And I'm like, and they got a Bigfoot specialist. And he's like, yeah, I'd like to, because like all this other stuff is hokum, but Bigfoot, yeah. and I said, I wonder if a cryptozoologist actually has to go to college for that. And Jason goes, I don't know, probably. I said, but would you go to college to study pretend animals? And he goes, they're not pretend animals, they're undiscovered animals. That's what cryptozoologists study. And I said, oh, like Loch Ness Monster. And he goes, no, the Loch Ness Monster doesn't exist. And I go, well, they study Bigfoot, and Bigfoot doesn't exist. He's like, Bigfoot could exist. It's a primate. It's an animal. We just don't have enough evidence yet, but it could exist. I'm like, so could the Loch Ness Monster. He's like, there's only one of them. They can't exist because they can't breed. I'm like, they have as much likelihood of existing as Bigfoot does. So we had this big discussion there, because Loch Ness Monster is my favorite pretend animal, and I really want to hope that it exists. And I think there's a perfectly good chance that a Loch Ness Monster could exist if a Bigfoot could exist. I mean, unicorns would be great too. I don't think unicorns exist, but Loch Ness Monsters, they could hide. They could hide deep in the nest, deep in the loch. And that's my favorite. There used to be this movie that they would show on TV that was these kids making a fake Loch Ness Monster to like drum up tourism in their Scottish town. So that was like one of my favorite movies. But then I think a real Loch Ness Monster came up, and then it was magical. And then there was a movie my kids used to like called, I think it was like Water Horse or something, and it was this sweet little baby Loch Ness Monster. But yeah, so I might check that out tomorrow. I think that'll be fun. Yeah, get a little spookiness going on. It's like I feel like I would love to be like Mulder from the X-Files. I want to believe, but I'm definitely more like Scully, where it's like, yeah, I need some evidence. I need some hard facts, friends. I used to believe in more of that stuff than I do now. Although I woke up this morning, I thought there was a hand. I thought, oh sweet. I thought my husband had his hand on my shoulder. And I'm like, oh, that's sweet. And I got up, and then he was turned the complete other way. And I'm like, ooh, what's going on here? I'm like, must have been a pillow. I'm like, well, maybe the pillow was on. That's heavy to be a pillow. The cat woke me up, so I went to put her on. Didn't really think about it. And then I'm thinking, I have a pottery wheel. How come I've never had any paranormal activity out there on the pottery wheel? Where are my sexy ghosts at? I don't know. But anyway, spooky time at Fort Knox on Saturday if anyone wants to check it out. That's all I have. That's all I really have. Wow, I talked for 27 minutes about nothing again this week, friends. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye!